The NCAA has now announced they will punish the entire state of North Carolina for the state law preventing localities from forcing businesses to let men pee next to little girls. And they've stated that public bathroom facilities must be utilized in accordance with biological sex. That's what the law says. The NCAA statement explains that this is the worst thing ever. According to their press release, quote, based on the NCAA's commitment to fairness and inclusion, the association will relocate all 7 previously awarded championship events from North Carolina during the 2016-2017 academic year. NCAA President Mark Emmert blathered, quote, fairness is about more than the opportunity to participate in college sports or even compete for championships. We believe in providing a safe and respectful environment at our events and are committed to providing the best experience possible for college athletes, fans, and everyone taking part in our championships. The NCAA added that because North Carolina laws are discriminatory against LGBT Americans, they cannot hold their championships there. Now look, the NCAA has every right to do this. They're not a governmental body, but this is immoral and idiotic virtue signaling. The NCAA has not invalidated any of the NCAA-sanctioned events inside the state that are not high-profile. Duke, UNC, University of North Carolina, they'll continue to compete in-state. So if the NCAA is deeply afraid of the evil Charlotte North Carolinians picking up torches and going after Caitlyn Jenner, they really ought to cancel all the NCAA events in their state. But they won't, because they're liars and they're hypocrites. They also will not be disbanding independent male and female sports, which are, of course, cisgender and transphobic. After all, if a man wants to play for women's teams and a woman wants to play for men's teams, why must there be separate categories? If gender is entirely a social construct, why should we reinforce that evil, terrible, awful social construct through separate sex-specific sports? The North Carolina GOP issued an epic response to all of this. They said, quote, this is so absurd it's almost comical. I genuinely look forward to the NCAA merging all men's and women's teams together as a singular unified unisex team. Under the NCAA's logic, colleges should make cheerleaders and football players share bathrooms, showers, and hotel rooms. They may already be doing that. The decision is an assault to female athletes across the nation. If you are unwilling to have women's bathrooms and locker rooms, how do you have a women's team? I wish the NCAA was this concerned about the women who were raped at Baylor. Perhaps the NCAA should stop with their political peacocking and instead focus their energies on making sure our nation's collegiate athletes are safe both on and off the field. That's their statement. No answers will be forthcoming from the NCAA, but at least they have the support of the potential president of the United States, the ailing Hillary Clinton, who tweeted, quote, the NCAA is right to pull tournament games from North Carolina because of the anti-LGBT HB2 law. Discrimination has no place in America. Signed, Hillary Clinton from her deathbed. Except, of course, when it does have a place in America, when governmental actors promote boycotts against private actors in states that have laws they don't like. How many members of Duke back HB2? How many members of UNC do? Anybody? More importantly, Hillary and her crew are certainly happy to utilize the power of government to discriminate against women by forcing men into their bathrooms and locker rooms, and even more happy to discriminate against religious Americans who don't want to participate in same-sex ceremonies and activities. When the NCAA is not pulling out of Washington state, where bakers are being sued out of existence for following their private religious principles. The NCAA ought to pay a price from its audience for this sort of leftist panderings. Americans ought to tune out their big games and events until the point when the NCAA stops being a tool for leftism and actually starts being a sports organization. But that's the problem with us conservatives. We are too easygoing, so we'll continue to watch the NCAA championship, and the left will continue hijacking sports to provoke leftist social change. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show. So much to get to today here on The Ben Shapiro Show. And by the way, we should mention right up top that if you subscribe to dailywire.com now, folks who are watching this live on Facebook or YouTube, if you subscribe to Daily Wire, you can now watch the entire show live. So after we hit the break, you can continue watching it live at dailywire.com, which is certainly worth your $8 a month, which you should have been doing anyway. We want to say hello to one of our advertisers, U.S. Tax Shield. U.S. Tax Shield, these are folks, if you have trouble with the IRS, and if you're conservative, there's at least a 50% shot that you have troubles with the IRS. But if you do have troubles with the IRS because you're either conservative or you forgot to pay your taxes or you screwed up on your taxes, you need to talk to the good folks at U.S. Tax Shield. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they specialize in helping people with personal tax liability and business payroll taxes and fees and penalties. You can call them for a free consultation. A senior tax consultant will actually get on the line with the IRS with you and find out exactly what your liabilities are. They will give you an estimate, a guaranteed quote, and that quote never increases. So you can be sure that when they quote you the price for what they're doing, then they stick with that price. They also have something called the Fresh Start program that helps you come clean with the IRS and settle all of your debt in a really short period of time. If you want to call the tax relief professionals at U.S. Tax Shield, For, again, a free consultation, their number is 800-542-2226. That's 542-2226, 800-542-2226. Or go to ustaxshield.com/Ben. You can find out what sort of resolution programs you qualify for, see how much you can save on your tax debt. They help negotiate with the IRS to get it down. That's ustaxshield.com/Ben. Make sure you use the /Ben so they know that we sent you, and they continue to advertise and ensure that our sad little minions here who work for peanuts actually get to continue to work on this magnificent show, which will obviously be the highlight of their lives and be put on their epitaphs after they die. Okay, so lots of things going on in the world. Mostly, speaking of dying, Hillary Clinton called into CNN yesterday. She called into Anderson Cooper's show. Presumably they removed her from the iron lung long enough for her to call Anderson Cooper's show. And she explained why it was that she didn't disclose that last Friday she was diagnosed with pneumonia and instead decided to go out to a 9/11 memorial on Sunday, where she promptly fell face first into the pavement and was grabbed and tossed like a sack of potatoes into a van, was driven to Chelsea Clinton's apartment. By the way, the New York Post reports exactly what I said yesterday, which is the only reason they drove her to Chelsea's is they didn't want to go to the ER, because if they went to the ER, it blows up the story. She apparently never saw a doctor until she got up to Chappaqua later on Sunday afternoon. And so Hillary Clinton calls into Anderson Cooper. Presumably she's on an IV at this point. Here's Hillary Clinton.
Why not just say on Friday, as you said apparently to Senator Schumer on Sunday, I have pneumonia, folks. I'm going to power through it. Why keep it a secret?
Well, I just didn't think it was going to be that big a deal. I know Chuck said today he didn't tell anybody. It's just the kind of thing that if it happens to you and you're a busy, active person, you keep moving forward.
Okay, you're a busy, active person. You keep moving forward. She didn't think it was that important. Yeah, I don't buy that one for one single solitary second. Do you? Do you buy that? Here's the thing about Hillary. Hillary lying about her health just underscores the fact that she lies about everything. So she says she didn't think it was important. She was diagnosed with pneumonia. It doesn't matter that there were weeks where she was coughing up a lung and people were wondering what was going on. She's diagnosed with pneumonia, and she waits until she falls face down on pavement in order for her to come out with the fact that she had pneumonia. Do you think that that's because she didn't think it was important, or because she's a paranoid? She's a paranoid, and she has a tendency toward believing that the cover-up is always the smartest thing to do. That's always the smartest thing to do. Maybe the cover-up is the smartest thing to do. We still don't know anything about her health records. Hillary insisted that she was transparent. As soon as she found out what was going on, they were totally transparent.
Well, we're going to be releasing more information, and I think it's fair to say we've already met the standard of disclosure of past presidential candidates like Mitt Romney and President Obama. We'll add more information, but I've already released information about my health in this campaign, as well as nearly 40 years of tax returns. We've already met a high standard of transparency.
Okay, we've met a high standard of Does anyone in the world believe this? Does anybody believe that Hillary has met a high standard of transparency? So she says all this, and she was asked by Anderson Cooper, has this happened before? She said, yeah, I think there were 2 times when I fainted. Then there was Bill. So there's 2 things about this particular clip that are funny. So first we're going to watch Bill Clinton tell Charlie Rose on PBS that Hillary has had this sort of thing in the past. Here's what he said.
You wonder if it's not more serious than dehydration.
She's been, well, if it is, it's a mystery to me and all of her doctors. Rarely, but on more than one occasion over the last many, many years, the same sort of things happened to her when she just got severely dehydrated.
Okay, so it's happened on more than one occasion where she's been severely dehydrated. She said it happened twice. We know of at least 4 times when Hillary has fainted: 2005, 2009, 2012 when she bumped her head, and 2016, obviously, when she just fell over at this 9/11 memorial. What's hilarious about this is that CBS News, when they first broadcast this clip, they had Bill saying that this rarely happened to Hillary, except that they cut out a particular line, which you're about to see.
She's been... well, if it is, it's a mystery to me and all of her doctors, because rarely, but on more than one occasion over the last many, many years,
they're not lying,
sort of
folks.
things happen to her.
No, they're not lying, folks. Frequently. Well, not frequently. I wouldn't say frequently. Rarely. That's what I was looking for. They're the opposite, gang. Frequently. Well, I would say rarely. This has happened before to Hillary. CBS just slices it out, boom, and they broadcast it on broadcast TV. They release this online. This is CBS's favorite thing to do. CBS, with Scott Pelley particularly, for years, they've been cutting out all the bad stuff for Democrats and sticking it online and hiding it online, hoping that nobody will ever see it. This is just another incident of that. Hillary continues to maintain that she's transparent, of course. Robbie Mook, her campaign manager, he was asked about Hillary's health, and he said, we're not going to go into details on when we found out about everything, because that's just not something we do, like tell the truth. We don't do that.
I'm not gonna get into details about who knew her medical information, but she made a determination with her doctor that she would power through this. She didn't want it to affect anything, and obviously on Sunday when she got overheated, it was clear that she needed some downtime, and so in consultation with her doctor, she's taking some downtime.
Oh, she's just taking some downtime, and we're not going to go into who knew when and why we lied to people about it and why we didn't say anything and then why we claimed it was just dehydration as opposed to she had pneumonia. We're not going to go into any of that because, honestly, why should we? We've been so forthright and honest with everybody about everything why would we possibly do anything like that? Why would we possibly? I love this. Brian Fallon, another Clinton spokesperson, he came out yesterday. He says, don't worry. This week we'll release more health information.
Let me just say, Andrea, we've been in touch with her this morning, and it is our intention that in the next couple days we're going to be releasing additional medical information about Hillary Clinton. Over a year ago now, we released an extensive letter with a comprehensive medical history, family medical history, and state picture of her health that completely adheres to the norm for presidential candidates and far exceeds what Donald Trump has released. But we're going to go beyond that, and in the next few days, we've been in touch with her physician this morning to get those materials together. We're going to be releasing that to further put to rest any lingering concerns about what you saw yesterday. I can attest, Andrea, that it really is the case that there's no other undisclosed condition. The pneumonia is the extent of it, and I can also attest that her doctor has stated that there was nothing here in terms of anything that was caused by what happened in 2012.
We test there's no underlying condition. Nothing is an overhang from 2012. Also, we'll be dripping this information out as we see fit very, very slowly. So basically, they're treating Hillary's health the same way they treated the private server, right? We're going to delete all the information that we don't want you to know, and then we're going to release all the other information and call ourselves transparent. This is the way that Hillary does things. And does that make you feel secure about her health? Does that make you feel secure about her health? And this is a real question because we should know whether the president is going to die in office before we get to vote for this person. We should know how sick she is. We should know everything. We should have medical records. And, Donald Trump says, look, I don't take satisfaction in being right. He's been questioning Hillary's health for a while. He says, I don't take satisfaction in being right. Here's Trump yesterday.
Given yesterday's events, and I'm sure you don't take any satisfaction in what what we saw yesterday, but would you say that you were probably correct in your assessment?
Well, I don't take satisfaction, Joe, and frankly, I hope she gets well, and I hope she gets well soon. But it was quite sad, to be honest with you, and I hope she gets well soon.
Okay, so he says he doesn't take any glory in all of this, which is the smart play. So Trump is under control, and Trump under control is the best Trump, right? That's good Trump in our normal good Trump, bad Trump dichotomy. And then, of course, you would imagine. So this week, Donald Trump is supposed to go on Dr. Oz, and they're doing this like a Maury Povich special. So apparently he did a physical, and he's going to give Dr. Oz the results of the physical, but he's not going to look at them himself. Dr. Oz is just going to read them off to him on TV. I can only hope and pray that there's some sort of paternity test in there, and that we get some snaggle-toothed young woman who runs out and says, Daddy, to Trump. I just think it's for entertainment value, if nothing else. We've seen everything else crazy in this election cycle. So if we don't have a Maury Povich paternity moment, then I think that we've really missed out here. We have already Rick Perry on Dancing with the Stars, so we're getting closer every single day. But it's smart. Trump is going out there and he's saying, okay, here's what you need to know about my health. There's only one problem, which is that Kellyanne Conway says they're not going to release Trump's full health records. This is the problem when you have two geriatrics running against each other.
And was it with Dr. Bornstein?
That I don't know. I was not present for his physical. But remember, Andrew, I'm with Dr. Oz and millions of Americans on this. I don't know why we need such extensive medical reporting when we all have a right to privacy.
The entire argument in favor of Hillary releasing these medical reports is that we deserve to know extensive medical reporting. And she says, well, we have to worry about privacy. Okay, that's Hillary's argument. Now you're using Hillary's argument. So now I think both of them are dying, right? This is just, it's ridiculous. Why is this so hard? I'm willing right now to turn over my full health reports. It turns out there's nothing there that should scare anybody. like medical privacy sort of goes out the window, except for, you had an embarrassing fungal surgery. It goes out the window the minute that you decide to run for president, because I'm not releasing my tax returns today. I'm not running for president. If I did, I'd release my tax returns. And we sort of have this basic expectation. But in any case, Hillary's dishonesty, and this is the real point that I want to make here about Hillary's dishonesty. Hillary's dishonesty demonstrates she's not competent at this. And so I'm not comfortable with Hillary being president, obviously, because she's deeply corrupt and because she's deeply evil. But because she's deeply corrupt and deeply evil doesn't mean that she's competent. So when we say that she's going to be just as damaging as Obama, I don't think she's going to be just as damaging as Obama, not because she doesn't have the same intent, but because Hillary is both corrupt and incompetent. She's so transparent that everyone looks at her, even the media, which we'll get to in a minute. Even the media look at her and they say, you suck at this. You're terrible. You're ineffective. In other words, she's more Jimmy Carter than she is Barack Obama. Obama's a tremendously effective politician. He can use the stump. He can pretend that he's not corrupt. The media have covered for him for 8 years. Even the media can't cover for the fact that Hillary Clinton is a pathological liar who's deeply corrupt. They can't cover for her. So if she were president, God forbid, what you would end up with is a scandal-ridden presidency, no power of the bully pulpit, no possibility of convincing Congress. You'd end up with gridlock, because right now it looks like the Republicans maintain both the House and the Senate in all probability. So, I think that some of the worries about Hillary Clinton being worse than Obama are overstated. I think she's starting in a worse place than Obama started, because Obama's taken us pretty far. But I think that Hillary's just not competent in a way that Obama is competent, which doesn't mean that you should support Hillary Clinton, because she's not going to be that bad. She will be. But what's going to prevent her from being really, truly awful in every possible conceivable way, what's going to prevent her from being the worst president ever is not her motive. What's going to prevent that is her competence level. Her competence level is absolutely minimal. It's absolutely low. Okay, we have to say hello to another sponsor really quickly, and that is Birch Gold. So right now, if you're worried about the future of the country, you're worried about the future of the stock market and finances, you should give our friends at Birch Gold Group a call. Their number is 800-496-6663. Birch Gold Group has a lot of 5-star reviews and A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And one of their programs is helping you shift your eligible 401k into an IRA backed by physical gold and silver, if that's something that you're interested in. Birch Gold Group has a big pamphlet, a big 16-page kit. I've read it, revealing how gold and silver can protect your savings, how they're a hedge against inflation and against stock market crashes, and how you can legally move your IRA or 401k into precious metals if you see fit. And you should get all the information. I always recommend with these kinds of investments, you always get the information, and Birch Gold Group is a great place for you to get that information. You can call them at 800-496-6663, 800-496-6663, or go to birchgold.com/Ben and make sure that it's BIRCH gold.com/Ben. Make sure you add the /Ben, because that ensures that they know that we sent you, and that means that they continue to advertise with us, which obviously helps the show continue on as we move forward. Okay, folks, so that ends our Facebook Live and YouTube portion of the program, but you can go to Daily Wire and continue watching it live. That's our new feature, is you don't have to wait 2 hours for it to be released on iTunes or SoundCloud. And we have lots to get to today. We're going to get to Donald Trump and his new policy of maternity leave. Seriously, this is what he's pushing now. We're going to talk about some of our good friends like Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham, so we'll get to them shortly. We'll also be getting to deconstructing the culture today. That's right. It's deconstructing the culture day, so we watch music videos and make fun of them, essentially. So we'll be doing that. Plus, we have an epic Things I Like and Things I Hate. So lots more coming up. Go to dailywire.com, subscribe for $8 a month. You can also be part of the mailbag. I'm Ben Shapiro, and join us over at dailywire.com right now.